So I see a lot of people on the forums and Facebook pages talking about how difficult it is to change fuel sometimes in these cars with the aftermarket fuel system, and the hassle of having to drive your car till it's on E and then fill it up with 93 or E85 when you're switching. If you have an aftermarket fuel system, there's a much easier way to do this, especially if you live in a climate as mine where this time of the year the weather turns to shit. So you can buy one of these little jump connectors, or you can make one. I think VMP sells these. They're not very much money, and this will allow you to have the key on and without the pump cycling out. All you do is come down here, disconnect your wiring harness from the fuel pump module, like so. Take your jump connector, put that out of the way. There. And it plugs right. Anyways, it plugs into this. Like so. Fuel pump module, jump connector. Now, when you have the key on, this will allow you to run the pumps continuously. Now, what I've done ever since I've had a fuel system in this car, I disconnect this fuel line going to the rail, and I made a leader hose to come off of this to go into a 5-gallon bucket. So when I do that, my assistant over here will run the key, and I'll just tell her to stop when the bucket is full. So, and what I do with my leftover fuel is it goes in my flex fuel vehicle. So it's pretty simple. Alright, so disconnecting the fuel line. In my opinion, if you're going to have a car that's modified like this, you should have kind of these basic tools. Allen wrench is really all you need. It's number 10. So you loosen that guy there up. So I've got the line off. Obviously that's not going to reach into that bucket. So I made a hose, put a connector on it. So I'll thread the connector into the fuel line and run it into the bucket. Simple. Not that it needs to be said, but you should probably have a rag down here or something to catch fuel that's going to come out of there. Hoses ran into the bucket. Now we just turn the key on till the bucket's full or the fuel tank is empty. Handy helper, do you mind turning the key on? So, fuel going into the bucket. So let's fill that up. So this car had about 3/4 of a tank of E85. So we filled that one up. Swap it over. Key on. So the fuel pump, you heard it whine. Obviously you're out of fuel. So she turned the key off, and that'll be the end of the fuel that we're putting in the buckets. Like I said, if you have a flex fuel vehicle, this is great for that. If not, I don't know what the hell you're going to do with it. But now we'll just fill it up with 93 and swap the tune. Alright, now you'll thread your connector back onto the fuel rail and then just snug it up. It doesn't have to be super tight. Alright, so after you get that back on, you want to turn the key on, verify that you don't have any leaks. Then come back to the car and simply disconnect your jumper and plug your fuel control module back in. Like so. So you got your fuel switched over. You'll come back to your tuning device. And I, for instance, use the HB Tuner's Engage. It'll load tune 93, flash this tune. Okay, and you'll flash tune, leave the key on, let it do what it's gonna do. So, tune's flashed. Follow the instructions. So, you're all good to go. Easy as that. So, it's as easy as that. If the weather in the area turns to crap, kind of like Indiana does, where around mid-November to early December, it's usually wet, and you don't drive your car in the rain. That's an easy option. It takes 10 minutes. It's not a hard job. You just really, I mean, it's not a hard job, especially if you assembled the fuel system. Yeah, so hopefully, if you're watching this and you hate having to drive your car till it's on E, you get something out of this. So have a good one.